Hey, I'm here.
And I was about to have the show by my own damn self.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You got it. Hey, Jenny, how you doing? I was just talking to you on Messenger, asking if you're busy.
Yeah, let me put that down.
Yeah, I'm late to my own show. What the heck is that? Oh wait, I don't want to leave. Hold on. I want to. I want to get the other link there. Yeah, I always say I'd be late to my own funeral, Bobby.
Because you're already dead.
All right. Okay, I sent Jenny the link if she wants to hop in here and say hello. All right. Oh, I ain't got much to really talk about. I checked with Sir Brian M. Bowden. I'll send him the link anyway. See if
All
he
right.
wants to join. At least give him the option to join if he sees it on time. I've seen Craig on, but I don't know if Craig can join us at all because it's a little late for him. But it is Friday night. Maybe I can get him. Maybe I can talk him into it. Well, it is just an open panel. It's nothing super duper important tonight.
Yeah.
So let me see if we can get Craig. I'll send him the link and see if we can talk to him. So one of the things that I wanted to discuss was how our technology is going crazy. Like we're talking about the first iPhone, for instance. Yes, the Apple iPhone was the first on the so-called smartphone thing, and then Samsung made it better. And for anybody that has uh, Apple products, sorry about that. But in my opinion, I like Samsung personally. There are some things about both that I can't stand, and some of it is so damn smart I can't figure out how to use it. But anyway, uh, in the case of the Apple iPhone, though, it came out 2007. Am I right? I got that right.
Yeah.
I think. And then the Samsung phone came out in 2009, June of 2009. Now, they were nothing compared to what we have today. I mean, this thing today is more power than the rockets that went to the moon, the Apollo rockets. This thing has more power in it right now than that space capsule did when they went to the moon, and that's a fact. You can look at the specs if you want.
Yeah.
And of course, I wouldn't recommend flying a spaceship with this thing, but it probably could. You could probably do it. But that's pretty incredible. And yet, my desktop computer that cost $2,000 to build the way I wanted it built, right? It doesn't have remote desktop, Bobby. It can't do it. And yet I was doing that earlier, and then all of a sudden, with the update of the Windows 11 Home, it said, "Oh, that isn't supported." It's like, why not? And that's the whole point. You can remote control your desktop from and wherever you are, and you're telling me I can't do it. So now I have to upgrade it somehow. Hopefully, it won't cost a whole lot of money, but apparently I have
It's
to
like
upgrade.
for me, it's like I got. I mean, I had the home editions,
Yeah,
and then I paid up and got the pro. If I have to redo my system,
yeah.
it
And
will default to
Maria
home,
and
but
Charles.
then I can actually enable the pro. Like you
Hey,
get free.
hey, we can bug them, Bobby. Let's bug them.
I
Let's,
just so Charles and Maria, you want to check your Skypes if you want to
yeah,
be
let's
harassed and stuff.
let's bug them, and it's just gonna be an easy night tonight. Nothing serious. Don't get all worked up about our choices or nothing like that. Look at Blackie. See that fun stuff tonight. Oh, hey, Bobby. Now that's talking about that. Now we missed him today when he was supposed to be at home, but he wasn't. He wasn't doing his job. He was gone. He was somewhere
Yeah.
else. He was out taking a vacation day. So now let me ask you about his reaction. Have you ever noticed him to um see anything, any activity? Have you noticed him like to look at the wall crazy? Like what was that?
Mm, not really.
Not really, or you haven't really looked at it, huh? Yeah, I don't know why, Oopie. We never have anything to talk about, and yet here we got people watching, and I was a minute late already. So I guess I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to take the 0 off of my pay. Yeah, doc, doc, doc. My pay was 0. So if anybody wants, I mean, the ones who got the link sent to you, if you want to join, just hop in here and say hello. That's what we're about. We're just here to say hi, and if you don't want to stay long, don't stay long. You want to stay a few minutes and have fun, having some laughs. All right, who's drinking what?
Never. Oh well, there's
Hey, who's that? Hey, now she looks great.
Yeah, I
Man,
mean,
I love
oh,
your hair. I love what you're doing with your hair.
yeah, it's all black. Heck, you can't even see me. Shit, I need to get some light on out
I
here.
know I thought you had a light on the porch there last time.
Well, I've got candles, so I guess I'm gonna have to light those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, at least we can hear you. Let's see if Charles can get in here. Maybe he can look a little bit better. No, I'm just kidding.
A little
Not,
better.
not
Yeah,
better.
he can bring some prettiness into this.
There you go. I was looking at a picture. What was an advertisement about some music packs? Yeah, song packs or whatever, right? The guy that was in the picture advertising the song packs, you can get like 30,000 songs, or I'm not going to spend any kind of money on that crap. I already spent too much on it now. But um, the guy that was advertising it looked like Charles. I said, "What, Charles?"
Holy cow!
Yeah, he had the same hair, kind of like the landing strip on top of his
The
head.
non-existent hair.
Yeah, and about maybe a little bit younger than Charles, but his hair could have passed as him. And it was like, Charles is selling music. What? uh, I mean,
That's awesome.
I certainly wouldn't put it past him, but I mean, holy
Oh,
cow,
I
that was.
don't know what's that called when it's short in the front and long in the back. It's the business in the front and party in the back. So
Yeah,
that's
there you
that's
go.
Charles right there. Yeah.
I didn't think anything wrong of him selling music. I just thought that I recognized him just for a second. It looked like him, and I was thinking he was the first person I saw.
Hang on, let me see if I've got okay. So this is so weird.
What was your first cell phone, Maria? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, it was one of those flip phones. Motorola, I think.
Oh, yeah. Was it like the Razor?
Ah, no.
The one that well, I had the straight phone, the Nokia, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it didn't do nothing but phone calls. You couldn't really do much on it. And
Oh, yes.
and
Oh
then
no, I remember it was one of those big block phones.
right, I had one of those with my car that I got. My first one of my pickup Ford Ranger. Was it Ford Ranger or Nissan? Nissan was in North Carolina. Yeah, I had a Nissan SR5 that I bought. And
Yeah.
the car dealership made a big deal. Oh, you can get one of these Motorola bag phones, and it's like, why do I want a brick phone like that? And no, you don't even have signal or phone service. It's going to cost me a lot of money to use it, which it did. But it
Yeah,
was
I
incredible.
remember. What you had like 30 minutes that you could use that
Yeah,
phone for?
and you ran through 30 minutes with trying to dial the number.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that was crazy. I forgot. That was like early 90s, right?
Yeah, 90, 93, 94. I had a
Wow.
95 SR5 is what I had for Nissan pickup. 95 or
Yeah.
SR5. And they made a big deal about getting a free phone with it. And it's like, what about paying for the service?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I used that phone when I had a job. Believe it or not, I was delivering fish, right?
Mm.
Not a good thing.
No, not smelly
But
wise. Yeah.
trying to call the woman where she was supposed to meet me so I can deliver the fish, and my phone bill went from 200 something a month up to about 800 or 900 something a month just for the roaming charges and everything. Oh man, I don't
Man,
even know how I paid for it, but I did. I paid for it.
I was trying to remember the first cell phone, like the big block phone. You got 30 minutes you could talk,
Yeah,
or no, I think it was an hour. You could talk an hour, and it was $60 a month, I think it was. And I can remember one of my girlfriends decided that she just thought it was cool. So she used my phone to call her mom and stuff like that to talk to her on. And she just went like 10 minutes over, and it was like $120 something dollars. I
yeah.
was like, holy cow.
Yeah. So my true first my first phone, it's a Nokia, but I can't find the model number for it.
That's gonna be
It's
difficult. Yeah,
I so
Oofy
so I
probably
know
still
it's a
uses it.
Nokia. I know it's a
Ooh,
Nokia, but I forgot the model number for it.
Yeah.
Oofy still has
And we had a
Nokia phone.
contract, and we ended up can't even afford the contract. And then we just went all the way to prepaid. And my first prepaid was a Motorola C139.
Mhm.
And
So you did the prepaid thing?
Yeah,
we first went to contract, and then we couldn't afford a bill,
Hmm.
and then we went up ahead and did the prepaid.
Gotcha.
prepay is good if you keep responsible to how many minutes you use.
Oh, yeah.
Um, for instance, I had what track phone I think I had at one point,
Hmm.
and that was great. Except, like you said, if you went over, then either they cut you off. Usually they just cut you off, and then
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
have to go buy more time. Which, if you didn't have it because you're in between paydays, well, that could be difficult. You know.
They still have track phones, don't
Oh
they?
yeah, yeah, but I think they're a little bit better on the pricing
Hmm.
because you can pay so much a month, for the pricing.
Gotcha.
All right,
Yeah.
so but I had a flip phone. Well, I had the Nokia straight phone, and then I had the Razor, Motorola Razor, which
Hmm.
at the time it was like probably $600. I'm thinking, which
Wow.
at that time $600 was like 1,000 or so.
Like 4,000 now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, that was cool. It was one of the first ones that had the camera. You can actually take a picture. You couldn't really do video with it, but you can take pictures and stuff like that. And, um, I mean, for what it was, it's all right. It was a flip phone with the big buttons on it,
Mhm.
on the button area, the big buttons. And you can do texting. That's why they had the big buttons, so you can actually type out the letters, and things like that. So that one worked out pretty good. They always had stuff about, oh, well, if your battery gets wet, then there's a little mark that comes up on it, if your phone gets wet. Well, you didn't want to get your phone wet because to replace it, you had to pay for the old one and you had to buy a new one.
Yeah, Maria.
Hey, Maria's looking
What the
good
hell
sideways.
happened there?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Neat trick though.
Y'all don't
You
look
you
at
want
that.
to make it? You want to make it panoramic?
Well, what I've done is I've got it on my phone, and I don't have.
You don't have landscape or panoramic on the
Well,
settings.
I did, but I don't know what the hell just happened.
What do you have? What do you have for your phone? Is it
It's an iPhone 12, I think.
okay? There should be in the settings for the view or whatever. There should be panoramic or landscape. One of those will work.
What I need to do is get off my phone and pull my computer up.
All
Well,
right,
that
you can do
will
that.
work.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Yeah, sometimes it's got that
So
rotate
now going along with that,
sensitivity. Yeah, they got that
yeah.
rotate sensitivity. Oh, there we go.
there you
No,
go. You
man,
got it.
that's just weird.
Yeah, but now we can see the whole frame. I like that better. I don't like those big black mark sides. You know.
The
It's
same
really
said if you're going to view a widescreen DVD presentation on a small square television way back in the day.
Now, who remembers using not the electric typewriter, but the manual typewriter?
me.
Okay.
Me.
Now, when you got your first electric, did you like it?
I never bought one.
Oh, okay.
But when I was in high school, we had the electrics.
The
Yes.
big IBM ones, right? The white
Yes.
one and black keyboard, and I guess they're mostly white, I think, on their colors. And it had IBM on there, talking about technology, how good it is.
I
And
don't
like,
I don't remember that. I just remember having to
now
take
this one, I was in California, so it might have been a little bit different
well,
as far
yeah,
as
I just remember having the regular typewriter, electric typewriter,
what
and
was your words per minute on the manual and then on the electric.
I never had to do the manual, but
Okay.
on the electric, I think it was 90
Oh wow,
words per minute. But
that's
that
not
was in
bad.
high school. I think I was sophomore, freshman, sophomore, something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But then I also remember my senior year, I wanted to take business math. So I took that. And you had the calculators, but they were electronic. Um, but over the years, and it's like when you use them, you know where all of the functions are.
yeah,
And still the same. The numbers are the exact same place, but the plus and the minus and times division, all that was not. They've changed them over the years.
yeah.
So I have this. I've been able to keep this electric calculator that I've had for like 20 years
Oh
because
wow,
I don't want to have to learn where the new buttons are.
right,
I don't want to do it.
right. I remember when my brother he got a calculator. It was for his schoolwork, but of course, when you took the tests in school, you couldn't use calculators. You had to write everything out and prove you know the work, right?
Hmm.
So, but in order to learn the functionality of the equation, you could use a calculator to get the answer, to figure it out. But when you took the test, you couldn't use any calculator. So
That's
anyway, he had a Texas Instrument one, right?
hmm
It was like $200.
yes.
Now he was like a senior in high school when he got that.
Hmm.
Again, $200 on a senior high school pay. It's gonna be a lot of money, you know.
I remember having to have one of those for class, and um, yeah, I think it was like $100 whenever we were allowed to use them in college.
Yeah.
Um, but and we were allowed to use them during tests.
And the funny thing was, he had a game on there. It was called a moon landing game, right? Something about where you calculate how much fuel was used, and
Hmm.
you'd have to have fuel left enough to where, like, if you had to take off, from the moon again to come back, you had to have enough fuel for that. But generally, if you ran out of fuel, then you just crashed into the moon, you're dead.
Okay,
But
I'm kind of jealous that his had a game and mine didn't, but maybe that was $100 difference.
well, I don't know if he knew how to program it. He might have knew how to program it because he was kind of that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He is kind of that way, you know. He when he was on the USS Coral Sea,
Mm-hmm.
he served. He ended up retiring as a chief petty officer, right? But he's a data systems tech, so he would run all the computer systems, everything, you know. And he could take one apart with his eyes closed, put it back together again, worked just fine, you know. And so I don't know how he learned all that, but he learned it, or he liked it. He liked it so much that he knew it automatically,
Mm-hmm. I
you
can
know.
remember having a game, and I don't know if it was my brother's game or, anyways, but it came with a piece of paper, and you
Mm.
had to type out exactly what it was to make the rocket lift off.
Yeah,
So it was computer code. It
yeah.
was you were doing computer programming, basically is what it was. So you had to type out this whole program just to watch this one rocket launch and then go to the moon. And if you missed anything, it never made it to the moon.
Or it didn't take off or something. Yeah.
Yeah, something. If you missed any one little thing, and I can remember doing that twice, and it
Mm.
seemed like it took me forever.
I never had the patience for all the coding, so to
Well,
speak.
I did it twice and it didn't work, so I was done.
That's why I don't like using, like Bobby talks about Linux and whatever that's called, you know,
Yeah,
Unix or Linux, whatever. And it's all coding stuff. You got to put, like, if you install a program, you got to put the code in there to get it to work. I don't
right.
have that patience for that.
Well, Bobby's a young little boy,
Oh, I
so
know. He knows all about that stuff. I think
he
he writes
knows
his
all
own
it.
stuff. Yeah.
We're just old and cantankerous, and it's like
Yeah.
it needs to work when I want it to work. That's all.
So my first electric typewriter that my dad got me for school. It was for school, so I could do my homework at home. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and we got the it was orange, and it was the Brother electric typewriter.
Oh God, those are the worst.
Then that one was good. I don't know why it was better.
Well, it was back in the day. The
Yeah,
new ones now suck. They're horrible.
yeah. Well, this
Yeah.
one that I had was in the '60s or in the '70s rather. Actually, yeah, mid '70s. So it was really good. I don't even know what happened to that one. I wish I still
Yeah.
had it.
I remember when I did typing when I was in the 7th grade. Before I moved to Berwick, I lived in Cross Springs, but I had to go to school in Opelousas.
Mm-hmm.
We had like these electric typewriters,
Mm-hmm.
and then we transitioned, and those were very very old computers way back when.
Mm-hmm.
It either had 3.1 or it had Windows 95, and there would be a game installed called Carmen San Diego. I never got good at Carmen San Diego. I would
We
suck
didn't
at Carmen San Diego.
we didn't have fun shit like that when I was in high school.
So, but we did type it on a typewriter, and then we went from these old bulky computers, which was still prominent way back when. It had either 95 or 3.1. Then I moved to Berwick. I didn't do typing in 8th grade, but when I started my freshman, we did typing, and it had Windows 98.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to business computer applications. Those had Windows 2000, and that was in my senior year. They had Windows 2000. So, and when I went to Botech and did typing there, and what's up, Keegan? So when I did Botech, the computers that they had was in Windows XP.
Bobby, you're
So
baby. You're so young. Oh my!
yeah,
I feel so old. I know, and
yeah, right,
I know how you feel, Ron.
right.
it's and so I have this question: my earliest real life Windows version that I experienced in my real life was 3.1. I wonder what's yours.
Well, I knew about 3.1. We learned all about the DOS and programming, and things like that.
I had AutoCAD in college.
And that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm
What's your
from.
wind chimes? I was looking around. Where the hell were the wind chimes at?
I'm on the balcony. They're below. They're on the
No,
patio.
I know that, but it sounded like I heard them out here in the dining room. I'm looking for it.
Oh no, my wind chimes are not in your dining room. I promise.
Yeah. So like I learned from 3.1 all the way to today. 3.1 has always going to be my earliest in real life. I
You know,
never tried anything pre 3.x.
I don't remember I remember starting a job that had a computer, but Bobby, I don't remember what that would be because that was, oh my God, that was well, okay. I worked on AutoCAD when I worked in the coal mines in the engineering department
Mm-hmm.
in 88, 89. So I don't know what was on those computers then. But like the first, that was when I was in college. One of the first jobs I got past that was in
Oh,
'96.
thank you,
That
Bobby.
actually
Yeah.
used a computer, but I don't know what anything was on there.
Now, Charles mentioned Tandy PC from Radio Shack. Now, I remember Radio Shack with their big. They were the best buy of our day with Radio Shack.
Oh yes.
All right. Now, if you had the money, you can pretty much buy a pretty good up to date, electronics or kits or whatever you wanted to do. They had stuff you can build yourself. They had stuff you can buy already built. Of course, you'd pay a little more for them, but that was the place to go. I was sad to see that go down. And Best Buy doesn't even hold a candle to what Radio Shack could do. You know,
I'm
I mean,
trying to think the first recorder that I bought, like for doing my investigations. I went to Walmart and bought. I still have it.
oh, don't talk about Walmart. No, don't talk about Walmart,
Well, I'm just
Bobby.
saying because the Radio Shack, I went to Radio Shack and they didn't have anything.
Right.
So that's how many years ago it was. They didn't have recorders or anything like that. And I don't think we had a Best Buy in the area at that time. So I had to go to Walmart and buy I think it was $65, I think it was.
And what were you able to get with that first recorder?
I'm thinking it's a Samsung, but
And
I don't
what
I
were
don't know.
you?
I still have it.
Did you pick up any EVPs at that time, or
Oh,
did you know?
the digital record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Man, I tell you what, and this is something else that I get to thinking about because a lot of the evidence I have, this is recordings. Anything I ever saved, it's because I heard the voice.
Yeah.
I heard what was being said. And the more of the shows, these paranormal shows that I get to watching, if you don't know what's actually going on through that whole investigation, sometimes if it's not a class A EVP, you're not going to catch what they're talking about or what they're saying,
Yeah.
or because you can be in a location and have a conversation for an hour and then you just can't. It's different when you're there and you catch the recording and you know what that spirit is talking about. And when you put that evidence out there, there's people that can't catch it. They don't understand the gist, or I don't know. It bothers me. That's why I don't share any of my evidence,
Yeah.
because I know what was going on, and I know that's just like during the 2017 eclipse.
Yeah.
There was two children, two little girls. There was some people that snuck on to the property that we were at. They didn't ask permission. They just pulled in and parked just to watch the eclipse. So we didn't say anything to them about it. We just let them sit there and we were over by them. And their little girls were sitting on a blanket about, I don't know, 20 feet from me because I was in the field recording the eclipse and I had my digital recorder with me. And I think my husband at that time was probably another 20 feet away from them. And all of a sudden, a tree, half of a tree freaking falls like 5 feet from those girls.
Wow.
It could have killed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
That's weird.
so then it's like I get, like a ringing in my ears and my recorder's playing. And I was like, were you trying to kill my husband or the girls? And you hear, no, ma'am.
No.
But okay, so I could play that to you and you could maybe hear what I heard,
Yeah.
but you weren't there. You didn't see the whole event play out
Right.
to actually get the meaning of what that was said.
And that's just like at my house, I can tell you everything that's going on. You might even, I don't know if you have that ability to remote view, you might be able to do that. I know people who have, and they've told me what I have in here, before I told them, and, I mean, these are people that are Reiki masters, 3 on up, from level 3 on up. So it's pretty high up on the level, for the Reiki masters. And they're not a beginner, some of them do have natural abilities that they can use. And, I mean, like, what was it last week? Was it last week when we had Anthony and Jenny on, I think?
I missed it.
And,
yeah.
they were watching behind me, which you can see clearly behind me. There shouldn't be any movement back there, but they were seeing a shadow behind me. They were seeing a shadow.
Wonderful, Ron.
And it was
That just goes for more of your, yeah, that just confirms more
All
of what.
right.
And then, but yeah, so if I tell you what's going on here, you'll just say, yeah, right, whatever. It's not that you don't believe me, I know that, but it's like, don't mess with that stuff. You don't want to.
I have told you that for 6 years now, Ron. Quit fucking around. Or
I
you're
can't help it. I can't help it. I'm pretty much obsessed with it at this point.
you're
Yeah.
you're showing comments and I can't read them. I can't even because I'm on my little phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the first going back to technology, what would be your first IXP you ever experienced?
Okay, Bobby, put that in plain English for me, dear. IXP?
ISP internet service.
Yeah.
Internet. I think here it's always been Windstream at my house.
Okay.
Even since dial-up?
Dude, I'm telling you. You know the problems I have with my internet here. I have to
Yeah.
use a hotspot on my phone to do any kind of streaming like this.
On Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah, on Tuesday night I have to use, and it didn't used to be that way. But the service is getting worse. And everything, fiber is coming out this way, but it's like a quarter of a mile down the road. And then it's in the boondocks. They have completely bypassed anything around Mammoth Cave.
They do have, and probably because they can't go in there due to the, what do they call that? State protected land,
Well, I am 3 miles from that,
Yeah.
from the federal, from the Mammoth Cave National
Yes,
Park.
state or federal, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
They keep saying a lot of these fiber companies receive grants and then they just go whatever way that they need to or they want to.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. There was a $7 million grant that was given to the fiber that was a fourth of a mile down the road from me. And
Huh.
when I stopped and talked to one of the workers about it, he said they had just gotten another $7 million grant. And he's like, have everybody down your road raise hell needing fiber optic. And, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
I use the hotspot to do my
And
broadcast. Even
I'm on the glorified dial up here, the high
yeah,
speed broadband. They say it's high speed. I don't know.
if
Uh,
it wasn't for my phone, I couldn't do this tonight without using my hotspot.
oh, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think a lot of people here
Yeah,
remember dial-up.
yeah,
When I
yeah.
first experienced the internet in my own house, I was still a kid back then,
What?
and
Back then?
and and my mom was
What year was
able to
that,
get.
Bobby?
This was in the 90s. This is like when dial-up was still around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't go for no big boy internet that sometimes Windows advertises in their stuff. We actually went through a local ISP where back in the day it was called E-Town Communications. Now it's part of a different company in today's world. But when E-Tail was still around, that was our ISP, and we didn't even have to have a checking account where the other ones you do. So every once in a while we go to that corner where the computer shop used to be, and we would pay them so much so that we could have internet. I even remember in my old place we had 3 lines of communication, and one of them actually is for the internet. When I moved to Berwick, we had Earthlink,
Oh, that's
but what happened was we had a checking account then.
Mhm.
They screwed us. So we got rid of them and got rid of Earthlink, and then we went to Bell South. We later upgraded to DSL, and Bell South later became AT&T.
I
So
remember
Mm.
Ma Bell when I was little
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all you had.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it came from my area where I grew up in the Bay Area.
Well,
So
and the government stepped in and divided that up because they
now,
had, they had the market, and I can seriously, Bobby, this would blow your mind. I can remember when I was little going to a Bell South store to buy a telephone.
hmm
That's the only place you could buy a telephone,
yeah,
and it had to come from them.
yeah.
And they were expensive. They're-
And it
because
was just a dial phone. It wasn't anything fancy.
yeah, it was just a dollar.
Wasn't even push button. Wasn't even push button. Yeah, it was
Push
probably about $70 or
up.
$70, and then you had a payment plan on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
We had to have $70 cash to pay for it or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Do you remember of you using an external caller ID before the caller ID got embedded in the phones?
mm-mm.
I'm not
I
sure.
believe
Oh no, I know. Yes, I know what you're talking about. So you had to buy this extra thing to plug into your phone. Your phone line come out, and it went into this little gadget, and then your phone
That's
line
cool. That's cool
come
how
in.
it does that.
Who's giving us hearts?
I don't know, but it goes up there when
you
you do that with the hand.
I can see.
did you
Oh, does it?
actually
Am I doing doing that?
I don't know who's doing that. Is that you, Bobby, doing that?
Not me, not
Oh,
me.
boy. Wasn't
I
me.
think it's like a Snapchat effect, or you like some type of
Oh,
thing,
I
and
okay.
then
guess because I was like saying it was a little gadget.
I remember
Uh,
speaking of Ma Bell and Bill South and everything like that.
Mhm.
Pac Bill we had, I think, there, Pacific Bill, Pac Bill, which is all the same company, right? But notice how they broke that up and they got away with it. But yet now they got everything all together again. You know, even if it's direct TV, it's still cable. You know, it's still someone owns it from cable. You know what I mean? Someone owns it from your big technology outfits. Someone owns it. They're just branching it out and call it a different entity, right?
Yeah.
And they're still a monopoly, but they're not really they use different phraseology to make it sound like it's better than what they call a monopoly. Okay, so they get around it. They work around it, which is fine. It doesn't make any difference as long as I don't have anything to do with Comcast. I'm all right. But anyway, in Pac Builder, what happened was that the calls were so expensive. My grandmother lived in Oakland. We moved out to Pleasanton, California, which is past the bridge and out of Hayward. We were in Hayward, which that wasn't long distance to my grandmother, right? We moved to Pleasanton, though, then it was long distance. So then we had this ring thing where she'd call and let it ring once. Then we knew it was grandma calling, right?
Hmm.
Then you'd call her back because it didn't cost anything to call her, for the long distance.
Okay.
Somehow that worked. I don't know how that worked, but anyway, we figured that one out. And so she'd call one ring, and, oh, grandma called, we got to call her back. And we went through that for many years. Having to do
truth
that.
to be told, truth to be told, I would understand beepers and pagers, and that was my holy grail. Is I never knew how pagers and beepers, how you're supposed to send that information to a beeper or a pager.
You just call it like a phone, and then it gives the number on the ID for the
I
beepers.
could never get it to work. I could never get it to work. So
Yeah.
I can remember a time, okay, so when the pagers first came out, you would just call that number and it would leave the phone number.
All right.
Then then it got to where it was like when you called that beeper, it would tell you to put in the phone number to call back.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Rockstar.
which was really weird. But anyways, so then we went from the beepers or the pagers to cell phones, and here
Now
we
I
are.
bet Oopie. Now I bet Oopie still uses one of those. He probably uses one of those giant the giant brick phones with the antenna. Where you can call anywhere. But
I'm kind of thinking that they're using still Morse code.
yeah, but she has to go and connect to the radio tower on the other side of the asteroid, though.
You know, the
Or
telegraph
what?
beep 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 goes
That's it.
pretty far.
yeah,
Uh,
But
yeah.
anyways, I wanted to stop in and say hello.
Mhm.
I get to go see the grandbaby tomorrow, so
oh,
I'm
good.
get to bed and act like a good human and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
So
And so now, how did the eclipse turn out for you? Though, did you say it was good? Where you
yeah,
were?
I was in Louisville, so the cloud cover wasn't very bad at all.
Okay.
So I did get to see it. So
Oh,
here, and if I had gone to work, it was complete nothing but cloud cover, so they didn't get to see anything. So
Yeah, we
I
had
did.
nothing but clouds. I got CO just like Ron.
yep, I had clouds. Yep, clouds, and then it rained after, and then it kind of got clear as the sun was setting. And I was saying, "Oh, thank you, God,
Yeah.
appreciate that." The
So
last
Yeah.
one I'm gonna get to see, and then you get to leave it all
Last
cloudy.
thing I want to hear on a Sunday is that a local church was cursing to God because they got
Oh no,
clouded out.
no, I wasn't cursing God necessarily. I was just complaining that I didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
So that's all. So anyway, that's the way
okay.
that goes.
Will
So
you guys just do whatever satanic rituals you need to see the eclipse? I'll see
Yeah.
you next time.
All right.
See
Well,
you.
thank you for joining us.
Take care,
Yeah.
Maria.
Have a good night. All
Yeah.
right. Well, now.
Yeah. So like everybody should remember VHS cassette tapes and VHS plates
Yep.
or VCRs.
Oh yeah.
Everybody should at least remember the audio cassette.
Oh yeah.
Everybody should at least remember all the way up to CDs and DVDs. If you don't remember Blu-rays, that's okay.
Yep.
So, and it's like everybody should at least either remember a Nintendo or a Sega. And if you're smart enough, you should know at least know about a PlayStation.
About what?
The first ever PlayStation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like if you have a good life if you had either a Nintendo or a PlayStation in the late 90s.
I had the Atari. Oh, I didn't have it. The neighbor kid had it.
Yeah.
Atari. What was it? 2600.
My mother was an Atari freak.
Yeah. If I had one today, I'd enjoy it, but I'd probably play Asteroids on it most of the time.
Yeah.
All right, now. What is that noisy teletype?
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. The teletype systems.
Now I could have done a reading for Maria, but she wanted to leave, so we won't make her sit through the reading. But who wants a reading? Anybody want a reading? And did Jenny go after all that? She left?
Not sure.
Who wants a reading? Why, look at that. I don't know if that's a good card or not. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Usually it means problem, so.
See, when I had my XP machine, it didn't have a good GPU or whatever it was called back then. If you don't have a NVIDIA or an AMD, you're not going anywhere when it comes to games. And there was no such thing as cloud gaming back then. The technology wasn't there yet.
See, let's see. I had AOL, of course. Everybody knows that. I had MSN, which you can usually get the disc and have new accounts every month. You know, after you use your 30-day trial, and then you get a new disc, and you get a new account, and you just get back on it. You don't have to pay a thing for your internet. That was pretty cool. And then had a Net Zero for a time. I had what you were saying, Earthlink, but we called it something else.
Was it CompuServe?
CompuServe was in the West. Yeah, I think it was CompuServe was one of them. Net Zero was one, but there was another one that was like Earthlink, but it started with an N, and I can't remember the name now. I didn't use that one too much.
If you're not going to go into console gaming, if you got a good, badass computer, you should at least try to get into some form of gaming if you can. Now, when it comes to Intel GPUs, it's a hit or miss. If you have an AMD or NVIDIA, you're good.
So now back to my original question. I wonder if I should update my desktop then, and maybe I can use the remote desktop then. But why would it work before and then all of a sudden not work and say it doesn't support it? But yet it did work before. Is that weird? That's weird.
Your problem. I would first restart, and if that doesn't work, uninstall and reinstall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if it worked before, it should remain working. But home editions, they're not like really built. Because when it comes to remote desktop, it's not something that the consumer would use.
Okay.
But if you're a good professional user, remote desktop is the way to go.
But how did I use it before? I've used it before without any trouble. And yet it says I can't use it.
I don't know. It might be a different app. Because
I was using a regular Chrome, the Chrome remote desktop. That's what I was using.
It's like the problem with Microsoft Remote Desktop is you gotta have a pro version.
Yeah.
And you gotta go through some necessary configurations where Chrome Remote it's supposed to work in any edition of Windows.
Right.
And you'll be able to do whatever you want. I don't know why Google is doing it. But
something maybe to do with the damn privacy bullshit.
I mean, that's why I got Pro on mine, and I don't have problems.
Okay, well, nobody wants a reading, huh?
Bye, everybody.
I could do a group reading and see what we get. You want me to do that?
We can.
Ah, that's a good one. Ah, there's another good one. Huh. All right, I'll take both of those. We'll do 3 cards. This is for a group reading. I've shuffled them several times.
Yeah.
Let me try that again.
I had a bike stolen one time, so don't feel yourself alone.
What?
RL had some people took his PS4 and I had a bike stolen one time.
Oh no. Holy cow. Now I fixed that and they got all those cards. Look at that. Man. All right, for the group. Interesting. First one. Seven of Pentacles. We'll leave it there for a second. I'll just leave it there like that, and you guys can pause it and stop it and look at it. I'll do that sideways so you can read the side of it. And you, like I said, you can stop it and pause it. Okay. Maybe is the answer. That one yellow is the. I want to take a picture of it because, well, That'd be kind of hard to do. Okay. This is for the group, nobody in particular. King of Pentacles. I'm actually trying to hold the card still. Red for the chakra. Your root chakra needs some work on it. Yes card. And there's your signs. Okay. And turn it the other way. There you go. Did everybody see that enough? Wait, let me do the right side up where how it was. King of Pentacles. There you go. Last card is Queen of Pentacles. I don't know how I got all the pentacles in there. That was weird. I'll take it though. Pentacles has to do with finances, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Remember now, when you look back on this and you want to pause it, just pause it right here where I'm showing that writing, and you can read it. And same thing with the signs. You can just take a minute to take a look at the signs and the red chakra again. Okay. There you go. Oh, turn it right. Got it backwards. All right, there you have it. That's a couple of good cards there. What was that noise?
Oh, I dropped the my garbage can. So, all right. Yep, that was the reading from the group.
Bletchy. What's a Bletchy machine, Ruby? $2017. That was just a few years ago. What are you talking about? So yeah, if you guys want to take the time to look at those cards, you just get to the point in the video where I do the reading, and then you pause it and take a look at it.
It's crazy that RL didn't have internet until 2017. I think whenever I was in high school, it's like we have digital media, but it's really not necessary. But here we got digital media that we can either view or download. So it has a touch of internet. So, but it wasn't being populated whenever I was going to school. The internet was just more of a prime thing. And if everything it's going to be a prime thing, it's not going to get recognized until later in life, later on.
Who has ever had a phone service? And I can say back in the day, because I'm that old. I have a story about that too. But anyway, who remembers having a phone service where you would be talking on the phone and you'd have another conversation coming in? And this really happened, by the way.
Yeah, and I think CT was too late when we did the group one.
No.
If CT still wants to do a reading, we'll get you one.
Okay. You'll have to send the check in the mail though. Or maybe not check, maybe an extra piece of toast will work. All right. I was kind of lazy today. We got neighbors across the road over there in their backyard. They're doing it right. They're doing a fire in their little fire ring. But holy cow, the smoke's coming right in here. Not now, but it was earlier. So if I have them, and then I have the two neighbors beside me on either side do a fire.
All right, good night, Keegan.
Yep. Thank you for coming by. Ah, that's a good one for CT right there. That's a good first one. All right, we're gonna give him 3 cards there, Oopie, and I'll send them to you since this is an extra reading here. I'm not sure about that one. I figured that one out, but that's what popped out, so we gotta go with it.
Oh, Oopie, I remember like wireless G Wi-Fi that only goes up to 54 megabits.
Ooh,
And those were like the first set of Wi-Fi. Now these days, they can go way, way up to about 5 giga if it's got that capability.
Actually, Oopie, I have a conundrum here. I think I'm gonna have to change cards here.
All right, what's up, Yolanda?
I like these 2 that I got. I don't like that one though. I like the other 2 though. I like the other 3 rather. Use it like that. Yep. That's what's speaking to me.
I remember before I had to give up on my laptop, I brought a router for both my desktop and the laptop.
Yeah.
And that was a pain in the ass to set up. But once I got it, I got it.
All right. So, Oopie for CT. We already did a group reading. Yolanda, this is a special reading for CT, so he doesn't get upset and blow the world up. All right. Strength is the first one, see?
Ooh, going to the majors.
And chakra color is green. Oopie, I can send this picture to you too, if you want me to, or I can just do it like this and you can pause it and look at it later. Huh. Look at that last line there. Success is a star. Well, guess what one I had? That's why I had to pick that one, because I knew it was with that. I didn't know it was, but I knew it was, but I didn't know it was. All right. Oh yeah, first one was actually no. That was that first. Was that? It doesn't matter in that case. They're both yes. I think actually they're all 3 yes. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
What was that movie called when they were able to crack the Enigma? I forgot what the name of the movie. I know the movie, but I forgot the name of the movie.
Ah, that's interesting. I like that one. Wheel of Fortune. So there you go. And purple is the chakra color on that. So green,
And
purple.
no, we're not talking about the game show.
And then next one, remember, just had a reference for the star. And that's why I knew I had to keep this one instead of the other one. The other one just didn't fit with the other 2. The other one was like the 10 of Wands or something, which didn't make any sense to go with this here. Now, don't look at the naked picture. But you see Aquarius for water, the water thing, water sign, what it is. And then I think that, or what is that water sign thing? Right there. What is that one?
I forgot.
You don't know? Okay. And look, see, strength goes right along with. See that? That's why I had to choose those. So there you have it. CT got some good cards there.
It was the movie that depicted the events of when that dude was able to crack the enigma so that they can gain an advantage and win the war. But I
Yeah.
forgot the name of it. Intimidation Game.
Ah,
The Intimidation Game. That was the name of the movie.
what? What? What?
The Intimidation Game was that movie
Oh,
depicted the dude was able to crack the enigma code.
okay. Okay, now let's see if I can get this done right. Okay, we're gonna fix that just a little bit. There we go.
No, it won't be a bill for mine. Intimidation Game is what you're looking for.
Okay. I think that's good right there. Hey, awesome. All right, save that. Now we can share it with Oofy on Messenger. All right. I think Messenger. Oh, no, wait, no, she's on Skype, right? Yeah, she's on Skype. Never mind. Brain part. No. Add media. There we go. Whew. I got it. All right, so now we can go. Does that work, Oofy? There you go, Oofy. Yeah, you can take a look at that. All right, so now if anyone wants any readings other than that, we'll have to do private lesson if you want one.
Knowing Loopy, you better do it on the Skype.
Yep, I sent it on Skype. All right, well, there you have it. Yep, I sent it to Skype. I figured it out. All right, so yeah, that was a real machine, by the way. Yeah, the Enigma. What you said, Enigma machine. It was a. I think. Well, now there's probably more people that can crack that code, but at that time there was only like a handful of people that could, and some of the ones on the Civil War they called them the code walkers. I mean, they're mostly Native American, well, native, not necessarily American at that time, but they were indigenous. How do you say that? Indigenous people. I don't like that word, but that's what it is, I think.
Yeah. So
So yeah, Oofy, you see how the three cards work together. The one card that I pulled didn't fit that whole scheme, so we had to pick the other ones. Oh, Bobby's gone again. All right. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what peanut butter and cheese would taste like. I don't know. That's what Amanda was talking about today. And she said, melt the cheese on the ketchup. I don't know what that would taste like either. That's weird.
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. You got it, Yolanda. Yeah, they weren't Americans. They weren't Native Americans even until when? When did we make that term legitimate? Native Americans. They're Americans as far as I'm concerned. They're born here before I was. So, but anyway, native to the land, I guess you could say. So, what's everybody gonna do in the next few summer months that we have coming up?
Yeah. Speaking of Native Americans or indigenous people, we do have like if you were off to go through Baldwin and then you make that turn to get to the casino, you enter something called Sherrington, and it's like a preservation for the Chinabachu tribe.
Oh yeah. What name? Say that name again.
The Chinabachu, I think it was.
Oh wow.
And it has its own tribal police. And I think the Chinabachu tribal police controls that area.
Interesting. Yeah.
But there is a casino there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got casinos all over the place here, and yeah, different tribes own each one.
If you were not to count truck stop casinos, we got one in Baldwin, and then we got one in Amelia, which is a riverboat.
Yeah.
But the one in Baldwin is very, very big.
Well, this land here, when Columbus found it, it was called the Newfoundland or New Land or something like that. Newfoundland, I think. Wasn't really called the Americas necessarily until the 13 colonies became
We need Amanda here. We need
when
Amanda.
when they became the United. I don't know if they're known as states then, but they were united. And then when they became a union, I think they had to have so many territories to make that happen.
Yeah.
The 13 colonies was only settled by, well, mostly your English people. And then they decided they didn't want to mess with England anymore, so they wanted to get out of it.
Yolanda, may your wish be your command. Yolanda was reading.
Oh, okay. Okay, Yolanda. All right, you asked nicely. She did say please, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
All right. All right, we're doing 3 cards today.
Yeah.
Well, 1776 was when we became the United States. But I can't remember how many states that.
Yeah, something RL. I know about number stations, but I never would get the gist about how they are supposed to work.
1776, right? Yeah. But how many states were included in that? Was that more than 13? Look that up, Bobby.
I
Look up the original 13 colonies and look up when we became the United States and how many states were involved in that so-called acquisition.
Yeah. I think whenever that Declaration of Independence came in, that's when they were pissed about what the Brits are doing. And then they decided to retaliate, start a war.
Right. Okay, Yolanda, we're getting it done.
And by the time the Americans were able to prove their overthrow against the British government, they just let them be independent. And then,
So when they became the United States, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, 1776, how many states were involved? That's what I'm asking. I should know this, but nope, I don't. Okay.
now, Oren, let me ask you this. Do you know about military emergency action messages that could be somewhere throughout the shortwave dials?
Emergency what?
Emergency action messages. They can go out at any time, and they will use the NATO alpha phonetic.
Ah,
And it contains those messages that we may have to decode. So I'm not into message decoding. I'm not into crypto decoding. I just love to listen to it because they're fun.
all right. Here we go. Yolanda, here you go. Page of Pentacles. I'll send it to you on Messenger. Okay. Got that? The first one. And then, oh wait, that was second. That's right. That was last. Page of Wands. Yes. And then that first one said communication too, I think. I'll take a look at that in a minute. Hold on. Okay. All right, there you go. All right. There you go, Yolanda.
Now, RL, let me ask you this.
That's upside down though. That didn't go there. Right.
Oh,
I
well.
had that. I had it. I showed it right, but I put it down there wrong.
Yeah. Now, RL, let me ask you this. Do you remember UBB 76, the buzzer? Where it's always buzzing at the time, all the time when it's on? And from time to time, it's supposed to send out messages.
Why would you want to listen to that buzzing all the time now? That's the question I have. Wouldn't that make you a little bonkers? All right, let me get rid of that one then.
Probably that would be your ambience for the night, listening to that Russian buzzer. No, but for some people, it'll be coast to coast AM. No. It'll be coast to coast.
Okay.
Goofy, let me ask you this. If they've never been united, how badly divided we have been since the rise of the United States? Because now these days, it's like when you look at Washington, when one wants a good idea, the other one wants to beg them to differ, it doesn't start a fight, but it's like you're starting a food fight at your local Walmart.
Walmart. What about that Walmart story?
Yeah. Well, when you go in the grocery department in my Walmart, the first thing you see is bakery and produce. So let's say you put one side the aisle in the produce and the other one in the bakery. Think about the swinking that it can have, and that usually defines your commerce today.
There we go. Okay, Yolanda, tell me if you get this. Hope I'm sending it to the right person.
It's supposed to be Rosie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got that. That's what I sent it to. All right. All right. Well, that guy that was on the, what is that? Cop show, the firing line. He was pretty cool. Yeah. Where did everyone go?
Oh, it's 10:30.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Maria, we had a pretty good show tonight.
Yeah, at least Maria showed up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We even talk about what was your first set of electronics. Speaking of electronics, when I was at elementary school, we used to have something called the Apple II GS.
Ah.
You know, there are those Apple computers that the programs are in those discs. You gotta insert the disc and then turn it on, and it will boot to the program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those.
Oopie. I did not deal from the bottom of the deck. And I did have another one in there that didn't fit though, so I had to redraw the other, which those other two came out. So that'll work out.
And if you're rich, we was not that very, very rich. There will be some people that will remember having a Commodore. You know, either an Amiga or a Commodore. Most people remember the Commodore.
Yeah. Commodore 64.
Yeah. But I don't think you will remember the Amiga.
I remember it, yeah. I don't know if we had one though, but I do remember it.
But everybody should at least remember DOS games.
The what?
Like DOS games. Like if you only got DOS, you can still play games on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to get Sir Brian on here, but he's too busy doing something, whatever he's doing. Tried to get the I sent the link out to Craig, but he is not able to join either. Too late. And Friday night he wants to spend it with the family, I guess.
Hey,
I don't know.
Rich with family love. That's
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, I don't think that we were ever considered rich. We were never in need, though. basically. We always had something. We always had enough.
I hate when people, they say you're rich if you have an iPhone. But then the rent comes in, okay, you got an iPhone, why do you have food stamps?
Right. Well, you got the Obama phone, right?
Right. Yeah, but it won't be iPhones. It'd be like those weak Android phones. Which, don't get me wrong, you don't want to go with a Nokia Android. They suck big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You want to go with something either with a Samsung or a Motorola.
Yeah. I never got the so-called Obama phone. What's interesting is that I think it was the second President Bush was one that created that program that you can get a free phone from the government, and I can't remember what it was actually called though. But
I remember government phones, but they were not smartphones. But the one that we had as an Obama phone, as if you called it, they screwed up our identification system.
yeah,
So our names would be different.
no,
They screwed us over.
oh boy.
That we just said screw it. We're just gonna go ahead and get straight. We're gonna go back to straight talk.
See, I didn't want to have the government phones. I didn't want them looking at everything I was calling on. Whoever I was calling on, I didn't want them to know who I was talking, even though they can now anyway. And they do. I'm sure they do. But I didn't want it. I didn't want to give them the upper hand, and
We're
you
talking
know,
about government lifeline phones.
yeah, government subsidy phones, whatever you want to call it. I don't mean anything against anyone that has one. Okay, and if it's helpful for you to have it, and you need to use it for communication, that's great. I don't have anything against that. But I'm just saying for
Yeah.
myself. For myself, I wanted to have some kind of control on who I'm talking to, when I'm talking to them, and why I'm talking to them. And I don't need the government to be telling me what I should and shouldn't be talking to, you know? So,
Yeah.
as long as
So
I'm not doing anything outrageously crazy, if that makes any sense. So,
AT&T, even though they suck here, had a subsidy program called AT&T Access that you would get their internet for 10 a month instead of 50 a month.
yeah.
But like I said, don't get if you're here, don't get AT&T. You either want to go with Cox or T-Mobile.
Oh. See, I had the opposite here.
No, you don't even have an alternative.
No, T-Mobile didn't work here. T-Mobile didn't work in my house here.
Well, let's talk about like as ISPs. I'm not talking about as cell phone services.
Yeah.
So like I said, so as previously mentioned, Ron, you don't have an alternative.
No, AT&T works in my house, and I don't have to walk up to the highway to use it.
Yeah.
That was what happened when I first moved here. I had T-Mobile. 'Cause in the city, T-Mobile worked fine. But when you get out to a place like this, it's not a straight shot for the signal. It doesn't get it.
Yeah. But you got that. What I forgot. What was your ISP's name called again? It used to be LTE Broadband, but I think they changed it.
Oh, now it's GigFire.
GigFi.
It's still broadband.
But you still got that tower and
Yeah.
you got that dish that sends a signal to where they're at.
Yeah.
And that's how you get your internet.
Yeah. Wireless broadband,
Yeah,
basically.
fixed wireless proprietary.
But
T-Mobile is still called fixed wireless, but it uses cellular technology.
yeah. Well, see, I had CenturyLink, but they kept dropping the service. Every time I got online, they dropped the service. And why am I paying you so much money for a service I can't even keep connected?
That same should be said to AT&T. I always keep on getting constant dropping.
Yeah.
We hated it.
So
We had to suffer for that for about a year before we went back to Cox.
yeah. Well, I just went I went to the LTD or Gig Fire now, but every time I have a problem, I can call them up right away and say, hey, I just lost connection. Can you fix it? Usually they fix it right away.
It's like when you think about 5G in-home internet, it's like it's the streamer's dream. You don't have to go through no extra bow or a bundle. If you're going to be cutting the cord, it's usually the 5G home internet systems is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be a cord cutter, that would be your go-to. Because there are more choices every day when it comes to live TV. Some people don't even need live TV. My uncle loves live TV, so I just gave it to him. I don't have, it's like I said, but live TV is something that it's never get heard of today. And today you could just go ahead and go on ahead and don't even have live TV. You can have just the free TV channels
Yeah.
built into your TV, and
Yeah.
and you're okay. And that's fine with me.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that. All right. Well, we did pretty good today. All right.
Yeah, but it's almost close to 10:40.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if you know on the bottom ticker, if you like what you see, you want to go to ertreal.com and hit that big PayPal button. Because this month, Ron was in the hole because of his hospital scam thing.
Yeah, I got that straightened out finally, but still suffering from that. They overcharged me an extra payment, and it was a bookkeeping issue, but they got that back to me, which is good. And I was wondering why I was getting double charged for the same amount. It should have only been one charge.
Yeah.
And then that set my account in negative because, well, I had $400 what I shouldn't have had to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, smart TVs. Yeah. And that's what mine's is. It's a smart TV. But you really don't have to use smart TV functions if you don't want to. Some people just go ahead when they buy any type of TV, they'll just go ahead and get a Fire Stick or an Android box that can do a better job than what's built into the TV.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them a single bit. If you want to dumb down your smart TV, just do it. Just do it. Most people go ahead and dumb down their TVs. Good night, Yolanda.
Good night, Yolanda. Thank you for coming by and dropping in. Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired myself. Yeah. So how many? We had some people on Facebook. It looks like maybe.
Okay, let's see. No, they're all on YouTube.
Okay. All right. I don't know what that noise was. That was weird. Well then, I guess next week we'll have another fun show. Maybe we'll get some more people on and they want to join us and have some fun. And,
Yeah.
All right, and I'll try to see if I can update this desktop, and hopefully I can get that done. Not having to do anything else. Hopefully it'll update automatically. What is that noise? Yeah, my yard sign for my security system. It the day when it was really windy, it had above 40-mile-an-hour winds, and it took that sign and it's gone. I don't know where it went, but I got that new sign now, so I can put that up there. Need food, water, and TikTok is what the message said there. Send Taylor's home. Emergency ridings in the snow. Uber is saying is 500,000 minutes away. Or in the sand, maybe. In the sand. Sand messages at the beach.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's get through these here. That feeling when is a heading.
No, I saw a YouTube
That
short.
feeling when you can't remember which tomato. And
Right. That's good.
yeah, let me try to
But
read
you
this.
ever,
Hold on. That feeling when you're trying to make a salesperson feel good, even though and I didn't get the last line. I can't read it that fast. That feeling when the best man's speech is hitting the 25-minute mark.
yeah. So there was a YouTube short that I saw last night before I hit it for the night, and it was from Pirate Software, and that's the YouTube channel's name. And they were talking about at one time at a con, they tried a method. They tried to put a keyboard and mouse in a controller. It didn't work.
No,
So
no.
they implemented. So they removed the keyboard and mouse and put two more controllers. The kids that would come in would try to touch the screen, the monitor, thinking it was a touch. And it's like, gosh, dang, nabbit.
Yeah.
It's like weird because an average kid that probably never had a Nintendo in their life would never know what this is. They only know what's an iPad or a tablet.
Oh yeah, really quick before we go. Yeah.
It really, really makes you feels like that you're old like a son of a biscuit.
Well, I was homeless in 2008 to 2010. I was homeless. All right, for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I lived in a downtown shelter basically, in which you had to leave that at 6:45 every morning. No matter what the weather was doing, it didn't matter. Cold outside, blizzard coming, it don't matter. Get out. I think they changed that ruling on that though, and on really bad weather days, obviously we can stay inside now. But that didn't help us then. But anyway, one of my favorite quarterbacks was Joe Montana of the 49ers. Okay. And anyway, I used to, we'd talk about him and enjoy the conversation about how good his record was and all that. And this one guy was there in the shelter. He was, at the time, he was 23, right? Now, at 23, you do not have the right to say, well, back in the day, all right? You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I can say back in the day now, and it would actually make sense. Then I could say back in the day, and it would make sense because I lived it. I was there when Joe Montana was breaking records, and he was one of the hottest quarterbacks of the 49ers and the NFL, right?
Yeah. And
Hey, Marco.
hey, Marco. Well, speaking of
And
that,
so anyway, this kid was only 23 years old in 2010, and he said back in the day, and I said when yesterday. He wasn't old enough to even use that phrase.
I mean, here I am. I'm at my late 30s, and I think it could be easy now if you can say back in the day.
Right. And I mean, Charles can say it, I can say it. Anyone over 50 can probably say back in the day, and it would make sense. But if
Yeah.
you're 23 and you're saying back in the day, wait, what?
It's like maybe when you was a kid or something.
Yeah. When I was younger, it would make more sense than back in the day. All right. When I say back in the day, I mean like in the 60s and 70s. All right. So that's what I mean by when I say back in the day.
Yeah.
And
It's like, yeah,
that,
it's like what I said. So your kids had tablets. Your kids never had a PlayStation or even Nintendo. If they don't have a Nintendo or a PlayStation in their lives, and all they've been playing is on a tablet, how are they going to feel whenever they have to go through using the controller? And it's like,
well, and they can learn it. It's something they can learn, that's for sure.
I
It's
mean,
not,
for me, I could take a keyboard mouse controlling style, or I could take a regular controlling style,
yeah.
and that's fine with me. The touch base when it comes to gaming, it's probably not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And so it's like I said, it's it's gonna make you feel old.
And before I go, Bobby, make my screen bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to show Joey Medea's book. Yeah, right there, Joey Medea. He finished it. It's on Amazon right now. You can get it. If you check with Joey, he might actually have some copies that are already autographed. So I'm going to start reading this one. Along with, I got to start reading Oopie's book too. I have that one. So, but
Exactly. Exactly, RL. You can use a PS controller or an Xbox controller with a smartphone. Yeah, when you have the special cable for it.
ah,
Like, well, there's two methods. If you're not going to use the official console, there's a Bluetooth method, and then there's a wire method. I can hook up. See, like this controller, it's connected. It's configured for the computer with Bluetooth mode. If I was off to use my phone, I can go with the wire mode because my phone has the capability to use a wire connection with any device.
Mm-hmm.
So I can use the USB-C cables to connect one end to the phone and the other end to my controller, and I can still be doing my games on my phone. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And of course, when I'm ready to, I can just disconnect it, but I still have to turn off the controller because it will go to Bluetooth mode and it will connect to my computer.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is easy peasy lemon squeezy, okay?
All right. Well, what do you say we go ahead and wrap it up a little early then? About 5 minutes earlier than 2 hours.
Yeah. So
That's not
Charles was
bad.
here. Jenny was here. RL, Oofy, Marco. Oh yeah, New Lens just for Lost Coast with a lot of great games. Oh yeah, look at the Steam
Maria.
Deck. Look at the operating system for Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I mean Linux and Steam can mix, but that's something you don't see in others like Epic, or it might work with Ubisoft. It might work with EA, but I know for sure that if you can get your games working on Steam and Linux, you're already set. You're already ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I like to do my games on a service, and that service will give you the games by clicking the button. And all you gotta do is just hit that button, and I'm playing the game on their service. And I use three of them: GeForce Now, Air GPU, and if you get the ultimate tier of the Xbox Game Pass, you got something called xCloud. You can play Game Pass games with their xCloud system. And of course, if you got the PC Game Pass or the Game Pass Ultimate, you can still sub up the GeForce Now and you can still play Game Pass games using GeForce Now because they have a joint partnership.
Yeah.
I remember GameSpot, RL. Now, whenever I had GameSpot, I only played like the free games. I didn't have any Nancy Stancy whatever. But it was a central hub to play online games if you got the games. So if you're a gamer, GameSpy is the way to go. If your game is capable of doing GameSpy. And I thought that was pretty damn good.
Yep. All right then.
And of course, I still remember download.com before app stores became a thing.
There was a website that used to do, you can download torrents, use them mostly for like music.
Yeah, but if you remember LimeWire,
Yeah.
Napster,
Yeah.
I think, and you got a good badass computer, because I
Yeah.
would not have that type of computer. If I put LimeWire, if LimeWire still around today, it's gonna screw up my computer.
Yeah, I don't think it is active today. I don't know if Napster is.
Yeah, like I said, I know the courts killed LimeWire. I'm not sure, no clue about Napster.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we made it to 2 hours. Look at that, 1:56. All right. So let's go ahead and get playing a couple of our. You can, since Jenny showed up today, you can do her little announcement thing too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny from Parasite Investigations, and you're watching the fabulous Ronald and Bobby every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the Errt Radio Network. Don't miss these guys.
Welcome to Errt Radio. See you next time.
Uncle, I'm trying to do a show.
Dr. Pros reminding you that you should continue listening and watching the Errt Radio on your favorite device on Mixler, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Trouble, Odyssey, and Rumble. And go to ErtRadio.com and hit that big PayPal button. Because if you do that, I will come to my spaceship, beam you up, and you better pray to your God because you don't know what's going to happen to you in your wallet.
What now, RL? What? That music, what? I don't know who it is exactly. It's the music comes from
That
the music comes from a platform called Epidemic Sound, and I pay $300 for that music. Yeah, $300 a year for that music, and it's supposed to be copyright free, royalty free, and able to use on all my platforms. So there you have it. All right, so remember, check out Epidemic Sound if you have a few bucks to help out with that. Great. All this costs money, people. It's not cheap, and it's certainly not free. And so, I do this for everyone that watches every week, and I pay for it myself mostly. I do get some donations once in a while, but for the most part, I do it on my own, and it's a bit challenging. But anyway, that is it for tonight. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you can come back again next week for another fun episode of Intermission Transmission. I was trying to figure out how many this was, Bobby, officially.
I don't think we ever counted intermission transmissions, but yeah.
No, we had 60 on the audio side, and then we had to take all that off the website for some reason. But anyway, we had 60 on the audio side before we went to video. Then you figure once a week, though, right? 52 episodes every year, basically. And so I've been doing this at least 10 years. Okay. So there you have it. So 10 years times, or 10 years, what, 52 weeks in a year? Yeah. So figure it out. 500 and something. I don't know if I got that figured out right. What is
Yeah.
that noise?
Oh, I think that was just me stretching.
Okay. All right. No, I just heard sounded like something crashing or dropping or something. Anyway, that is it for us tonight. Thank you everyone that was here. Please come back next week. And Marco, you have to do the dishes. So get going. Get it done before 2 a.m. All right, we'll see everybody on the next one, though. Bye for now. You gonna say it about me?
Yeah, thank you for watching.